السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. معكم أبو الياس. اليوم صديقتي الصينية عرفتني على أول شخص معروف بمجال البلوكتشين بماليزيا، السيد هاربريت. ما بده تعريفي، كنت بحثوا عنه على جوجل، فهو شخص كتير معروف. هو مؤسس لمشروع إكا ومشروع الأكسس بلوكتشين بماليزيا. Welcome Mr. Harpreet.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being with us today.
Pleasure. The pleasure is mine.
Okay, Mr. Harpreet, so let's go back a little and tell us, how did you start with blockchain and Web3, and when did you decide this is your professional path?
So I actually came across Bitcoin like about 12 years ago, I guess. I was actually just 19 years old. I was actually just out of in university. I was actually doing some IT gigs and some part-time job, and I had a bit of cash. So I was looking into how to make more money from the money I already earned. And I was a young age, I was looking into Forex, I was looking into different ways of investing. So I had started building a bit of trading experience. And somewhere along the way, somebody was trying to sell me, like an investment scheme. Right? Because I started to join a lot of the investment group, so somebody started to reach out to me about an investment, right? And this guy was also an old friend, somebody I met before, and he was like trying to promote me an MLM project. But then I was like, okay, let's figure it out. What is this all project all about, right? So this was quite many years ago, right? So when I actually went over to hear the pitch, his pitch kept repeating this one same theme. It's better than Bitcoin. It's better than Bitcoin. It's going to be greater than Bitcoin. In my mind, it just came to this question, okay, what is Bitcoin, right? If this is better than Bitcoin, I first have to understand what is Bitcoin, right? So I went over, I started to do a bit of research, like what is Bitcoin, what is the meaning of it. Then I started to do research. What is money, right? How it works, what is currency, why we believe in it, why is trust, right? Why do we just trade this thing without thinking?
Right.
So I started asking a lot of fundamental questions, that what gives value to money, what gives value to all of these currencies. That's where I figured out why Bitcoin is important. So when I figured it out, after a week, my friend came to me like, hey, are you a believer now? Would you invest in my project? I'm like, nope, I bought Bitcoin. And he was like so upset with me at that particular time. He's like, no, I'm not going to talk to you and everything. Blah, blah, blah. But after a year, the project kind of collapsed, and then he like, oh, yep, you were right. And now when he calls me, brother, how do I actually buy Bitcoin? Like when Bitcoin was going and mooning, and I was like, yep, yeah, you didn't listen to me then. But never mind. That's how I actually figured out Bitcoin, and I knew it was important. Right, I was somewhere around my 19, 20 years old kind of age. And then I started to do, focus my education in software engineering. And I decided to continue masters right after my degree, because I was already working and earning at the same time. So I had the experience. So I felt like, okay, why don't I just shoot across and finish my masters? And I took my masters in software engineering. And while I was doing my masters in software engineering, I decided to go onto something very new. It was called multi-agent systems. Yeah, so I took this topic. I was the only student. So literally me and my professor sits every day and talk about multi-agent systems. And he's a genius professor. He was actually also from the Middle East. And if I'm not mistaken, he was Palestinian. Yeah, and he basically was very much very knowledgeable person, like very forward thinking about multi-agent systems. So I used to study, my classes with him, and we used to argue a lot. We used to debate, how the future going to look like, right? And when I started to study agentic systems on how the future of AI, they're going to coordinate, collaborate, and communicate with each other, I just couldn't see it working with our current system. I don't see like robots, you are signing up your credit card and giving it to a robot to make decisions. Right? I couldn't see a future where you let the AI to take care of your private information. I couldn't see a future where I can entrust my private files or images or memories to an agent. I don't see a future where I could see, I delegate my life to an artificial intelligence. So I felt that there always need to be a trust layer, a technology that ensures there is trust in the system, in the digital system, right? And the current systems at those times we didn't have anything. And that's where it came to me. Bitcoin is about trust. What is the technology behind it? So I started researching. I became one of the earliest blockchain developers in Malaysia. right? I set up one of the earliest blockchain technology companies in Malaysia. It's called Blocklime, right? And got involved into the industry, and I started to do a lot of training, advocacy, since then. That over time people started to acknowledge that this guy has the knowledge and he also have the understanding of the space. So that gave me a lot of exposure, a lot of trust, and a lot of people's support. That today I'm actually the president of the Malaysian Blockchain Association, and I actually work closely with the ministers, with the local government, even foreign government. I did some work of training in Oman. And did some training work in Dubai, and also now we're going to do something in Saudi as well, right? So we're doing some work in the MENA region as well to actually do some education, training, advocacy stuff to actually push this narrative forward, that we can actually build a future that is safer, based on shared values and based on a co-shared ecosystem. So that's the future I wanted. That kind of built me to blockchain, but I think that's quite a lot of introduction. I'll leave it to you to ask the next question.
Yeah, thank you for sharing us your successful adventure. It's not a story, it's adventure.
Correct, yes.
Amazing adventure.
Yeah, it's been a journey, yeah.
I see on Malaysia, on general, we have many successful unicorn companies.
Yes.
So how does this success help to build trust and bring more investment on Malaysia tech startup?
So you see, success startups, unicorns, big companies, they attract a lot of attention because they also get a lot of press, they get a lot of media, they build the anchor of trust of a region, for example. Let's say when in Malaysia, for example, when we had players like Grab, like in the region, I would say like Singapore, right? When they had Grab moved on over there are a number of big startup companies move over there. So a lot of the intention went towards Singapore company, to the Singapore way of governance, the Singapore way of doing business, the Singapore way of doing innovation, right? Same goes when we talk about the bigger players in Indonesia, right? When we talk about Gojek and a lot of the companies that are coming out from there, people start looking into the Indonesian way of doing things. Same goes with Thailand, same goes with Vietnam, right? So when we actually attract, build, sustain amazing talent here in Malaysia, right, who builds global companies that are able to grow into a size of a unicorn, it instills confidence that at that particular geography you're going to get a lot of like-minded people who are building something amazing. You get to learn with people who are building something amazing, and it becomes a kind of a hot spot for amazing like-minded people with amazing skills to come in and co-locate. Yeah, so I think that has been an amazing point for Malaysia, and it happened naturally. I don't think we tried to do a lot. Malaysia has just been very successfully attracting natural talent and natural capital into here to make things like this successful.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for sharing your view about this. That it will be very good for MENA region followers. So you are very close from the Web3 community in Malaysia. Why is Malaysia so attractive for global teaching visitors, especially for Web3, on your opinion?
Sorry, I didn't get the last part.
Okay, why is Malaysia so attractive for global teaching visitors, especially for Web3?
Teaching visitor, you say?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically for Web3 itself, I think in terms of visitation, I think it's not just all the ecosystem itself, right? We have a lot of strong community players. We have so many smaller events and networking sessions that are held here, right? And plus we kind of sit in the cross section of a lot of amazing hotspots. Like people go for Thailand if they want to go up and enjoy their parties and sessions, right? And there are amazing companies there. They do a lot of events. You have Singapore, which is like the business capital, one of the biggest financial centers in the world, who actually does a lot of events and activities, but it's very small. So people go there, they've got not much happening. So they feel like, okay, what's around it, right? I've been to Indonesia, I've been to Bali, I've been to Thailand, but I've never been to Malaysia, right? And then I think it's also the Malaysian culture, right? Malaysian people are generally much more open, friendly, and we are proud people, right? So we are proud of our country, we are proud of our country's achievement, we are proud of the country's values and ideas. So when we go out, every Malaysian is some sort of an ambassador, Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right,
So he becomes like an ambassador. He goes out, right? People are like, oh, where are you from? It's like, oh, we're from Malaysia. It's like,
Yeah.
where's Malaysia? Like, you're like, oh, this is a country in Southeast Asia between Vietnam and Thailand. They heard of Thailand because they went
Yeah.
party there or something, right? Or somebody has been there before, right? They have heard of Singapore because of like all the marketing Singapore does as a business center.
Yes.
We like in this case it becomes like our obligation to kind of tell them where is Malaysia, why Malaysia is beautiful, and why you should visit. And most of the people that I see coming over here, it's like they have heard from somebody that you should check out Malaysia. So I think Malaysians are the like a huge ambassadors of the country, and the ecosystem itself is very open and friendly, right? Even if you have amazing achievers, like a unicorn founders, you can still give them a call,
Yes.
right? And talk to them or ask them to come for an event. They come, right? So because of that friendliness, a lot of people find it very comforting to come here, to visit here, to stay here, to work from here, to invest here. And I think we should keep this culture, we should keep this openness moving forward as well. Yeah.
So you think all that's because the Malaysian culture at first?
Yes, I think Malaysian culture is the prime reason. You can make amazing buildings, but if there's no people in it, what's the point of it, right? You can make, even the best settings, but if there's no proper welcoming culture that actually people feel nice to be around,
Yes.
right? The atmosphere is not nice, nobody wants to stick.
So Harpreet, ICA is more than platform, as my research about it. So what is the idea behind ICA, and what is the most problem facing you and your team, and how you fixed it?
Understood. So since in the beginning when I got into blockchain, I noticed I was always figuring out how to actually create maximum value for everyone. How can actually blockchain be able to penetrate and basically be users by everyday user, right? So when you look into the experience of using today's, like AMM DEXs or using today's crypto exchanges, right, it's very complicated. Not everybody can do it. Because I often ask this question, can my mom, my uncle, my aunties, can they do this? Like, can they learn this? The barrier of entry is very high for everyday users. And if let's say your daily job is actually to go up and maybe, like sell bread, or like run a shop, right? Or maybe do, like a house cleaning, right? You won't have the time to sit down on an Explorer, look at a price chart, and like trying to do a trade. So that's why I felt like if you want to build and create the value for like everyone, you have to one, improve the experience of running an exchange. Number two, also automate it. Automate as much as you can, right? So this is the two ways that we are trying to change things. Number one, we are building a DEX, a decentralized exchange for crypto that is based on the intent model, not an AMM. So in an intent model, instead of you going in and connecting to a smart contract and basically doing a trade which is matched by the smart contracts, which is expensive and at the same time a bit complicated, right, for people to understand and do. It is more kind of a matching platform. You have a bunch of funds or fund managers who actually have liquidity cross-chain, right? So in this case, let's say this particular fund has Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Juke tokens and all of those, right? And what they want is basically to sell their tokens at certain price. They set what price they want to sell it at, right? And on this side, on the demand side, on the ICA platform, you came in and you said that, oh, I want to change my ETH for Solana, right? You put in a request, say that, okay, I want to sell my ETH, and what is the current pricing range? It will be set, right? And as you put the order, whichever funds matches that particular price range will execute it. So from their wallet, the ETH will be received in their wallet, and it will the Solana or the Jupiter, whatever you want to buy, will be sent to your wallet directly, right? And directly like that, you actually are able to execute a cross-chain swap. But in the AMM way, right, you would have had to one, take the asset, then bridge the asset, then maybe exchange it again. When you talk about famous currencies, it's fine. But when you're actually talking about a lot of the small, minuscule currencies which doesn't have a lot of liquidity, it becomes very difficult. At the same time, a lot of liquidity has to be locked into LPs, into all these DEXs, that you have a liquidity crunch. Only the big like exchanges has the biggest liquidity, so only they can provide the best price and the best availability of those money. So all the smaller guys don't have a chance to compete. So when you build an intent-based model, right? It actually helps to improve the experience. On the second part, we're also introducing agents. So we're adding in agents here, which it can do this on your behalf. Just tell it, okay, you can even ask a simple question. What's each performance today? What is the each, like improvement? There's an LLM, like a AI model that's being integrated, which actually can answer those, something like ChatGPT, right? But imagine ChatGPT that is also able to execute the transaction for you, able to manage and observe for you, right? So we are creating a suite of agents that are able to behave in a certain way and execute for you what they call on things. So that's what generally ICA is trying to solve, is the experience, is the of the users, improving and automating, at the same time changing the core architecture so people can save money, don't have to pay fees, expensive fees, and do faster trades. Yeah.
Thank This has been a very great time with you, and thank you for sharing your story and your view for Malaysian market, for ICA, for all a lot of big and very important information you give us. So, quick questions before we finish our meeting. What is one best advice you can give for young users on Web3 from the MENA region, Middle East and North Africa?
So the best piece of advice for the MENA region, guys. So I mean, if let's say any of you are looking into coming into Malaysia, right, and getting started here, I think it's definitely a beautiful place. Like it's an Islamic country, so there's going to be a lot of familiarities you can find here, right? And of course, the culture is great. But in terms of advice, I think when you come over, learn about the space, learn the culture, like at the same time adapt, right? Be water, right? When you come over here, adapt into the culture, adapt into the ecosystem, right? Even let's say you want to do any business, not just about Web3, right? If you're coming and doing any business here, the people here love, to greet people and welcome people to the country, adapt to the culture, and let's say you want to do any business, it will be made things much smoother for you. And at the same time, learn the law of the land, and at the same time figure out all the different avenues. There's actually a lot of opportunities, right? If you want to do business here, even as a foreigner, when you come here, there's a lot of government facilities, government support programs, right? Sometimes they are hidden under different government websites. If let's say you want to come here for Web3 space, there's actually quite a lot of support by the government being created as well now. And at the same time, mingle around with the local community of like-minded peoples, right? If you want to do something in the expat space, do that. If you're doing something in the Web3 crypto space, be more part of the community, right? And try to meet like-minded people who can actually support you in terms of whatever venture or business that you want to start here in Malaysia. And of course, everybody's welcome. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Harper.
Yeah.
Follow me and like and comment. Leave a comment and follow Harper. I will leave links for his accounts on the description. And also you can visit ICA websites and all the websites we're talking about on this meeting. Thank you for watching. نشوفكم بالفيديو الجاي إن شاء الله قريبا. Thank you bro.
Thank you.